right. Should be live. Looks like I'm live. All right, Nasdaq opening at another new high for the year. That's pretty good. We see match gapping up a little bit. Looking at Fortinet earlier gapping up a little bit. So we'll see how this day does. All right, market open. Hey, what's up, Rob? Cool, man. No problem. Thanks for saying hello. Appreciate it. All right, Match.com starting at the high of yesterday. That's pretty good. We'll see if it'll eclipse it or doodly fail. Match.com had a very good day yesterday. You see, you broke out in huge volume. Very, very good. That's beautiful breakout. I think we talked about this one being in a flat base. Basically a base on base pattern. Or a quasi cup and handle, depending on how you wanted to look at it. But either way, yesterday would qualify as a breakout day. So, boom, there you go. There's match again, taking off this morning. So, yeah, I think could be looking for, would be 20%. $72 would be about what you'd expect out of a 20% move for match at this stage from 60. So, yeah, INSG took it on the chin, absolutely. Yeah, it came back. Well, I don't know if it came back. I don't remember. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. Yeah, it did fall back yesterday. It didn't undercut, though, but we'll just kind of have to wait and see what's going on there. I did get in on match, actually. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I actually emptied my position a little bit on this day here, which doesn't feel so good right now, but the rest of my position is doing just fine. Fortinet up 1.38%, still rocking it on the breakout. This is what you want right there, Fortinet. Yeah, Fortinet's doing great. Good volumes coming out here. Look at this volume on the daily chart. Looks phenomenal. By the time something's working, we may have caught like two of the only things working in the market. Sometimes you get lucky like that. CRISPR, are you trying to break out of something? So CRISPR is still in this lower consolidation here, just breaking out of this channel. I actually really like these setups, although I'm not sure. CRISPR isn't like a known market leader, but they are kind of, you know, in their field, one of the few. But CRISPR not doing bad this morning, up 5%. Roku trying to come back. Casa, Match, Weibo, WB, no. Vips, EDU. Amarin still hasn't given up hope. I was trying to look at Amarin. Riot hanging out with Bitcoin. I have to click on it. Make me click on something. There you go. There's Amarin. Amarin not giving up too much. Volume's been pretty low lately. We'll probably, if you see this thing start to curl up and make higher lows, that could be your signal for something like this, right? And you see here we had lower lows. Then we started kind of doing this, floating up a little bit, went sideways instead of down. That's only a 3-day sequence, but could be important. And then boom, then you have the big movement. I'm not sure if that was earnings or not. I did not see Amazon since the end of the day yesterday. Oh, wow. Yeah. Big reversal day. Absolutely. Nice. Yeah, I'm not too mad at that. I'm not too mad at that for an entry. I mean, the Nasdaq up here had a beautiful reversal day yesterday too, which is good. When we were talking yesterday, and I left you guys, we were actually down pretty low here. I don't think we undercut yet, but we did a little bit later in the day finally undercut the low. I don't remember if we did. There's the 10-day moving average in blue, bounced right off of that. So, and then gapping up this morning, as a matter of fact. Um, right in line with that trend line too. So I'm not sure if that move's already done for the day. But if we meander about here and keep going up like that, I mean, we're within a stone's throw of highs in the NASDAQ. It's just so tight, it's stupid. So, this is one of those points really where, from an index perspective, almost anything can happen. Um, but if you take a bigger picture and ignore the technicals, which is always difficult for me to do, but if you ignore the technicals and look at what's going on in the world macroeconomically for the stock market to succeed, we have good things. So I don't think we break down. We may consolidate or flounder about. Maybe certain sectors run, certain sectors fall, but I think overall we're doing pretty good. I mean, all things being considered, 4 months out of a 3-month bear market, we're right back to where we started. So not much to argue about there. Hold on a second. All right. All right, Match.com up 2.74%. EDU trying to get on with the program. Does have earnings coming up. 423 in about a week or so. Fortinet right there. Nice. INSG looks like it's trying to come back. Still holding the low. Still holding, and see, you can't get too mad at a stock that is holding the low like that. It's just, you just can't. Well, I guess you can. You can do anything. But it's holding the low there. I was hoping that little pop out would be it, but maybe not. Maybe not yet. Not quite ready. Oh, how's Twilio doing? I have Twilio. Oh, it's having a bad day. I sometimes forget I have this Twilio position for a bounce off the 50-day. It's still bouncing off the 50-day. It's just not really rocking. Lyft, nope. Let me just check out Lyft. Bouncing out of the floor. Okay. Well, it'll let it bounce. That's fine. Doesn't need to do it with us. Winnebago, 35. Yep, looks like consolidation. Yes, a little bit of choppy action here yesterday. You see it oscillating. And spike higher in the morning. And then, yeah, it's consolidating a little bit, but I mean, it's a good run. In the stock market, if you want to swing this for higher, you just kind of have to let some things go. I mean, that's just a 1-day pullback. That's really nothing. This is just noise. Until it crosses this trend line, it's just noise. You can just kind of, you can set an alert right there at 34 or 38 and go about your business if you want to, Ted. And then maybe figure out what to do there. INSG pulling in a little bit. Match Fortinet down here now. Looks like coming back in. We'll see how it behaves. Nothing broken. Let's see what IBD has to say on headlines this morning. Anything interesting? One thing interesting is, where's my water? It's not here. Here's one thing a little bit concerning. Well, IBD's got a new research tool. Ooh, let's test their new research tool. I don't know what just happened. I don't know what just happened. It said test my new research tool in a pop-up. I clicked it, and it looked like it was opening something, and then it evaporated. Like, oh, okay. But anyway, what I was going to refer to is the banks. The banks are actually having a kind of a weird moment in time right now where the earnings were not good, and they were top 5G AI stock launches with runaway gap. Runaway gap, that's a specific gap. Where's the runaway gap? Or breakaway gap, excuse me. Oh, this one? Well, yeah, thanks for 3-month-old history there. Oh, here's something cool. I don't know if I necessarily heard this, remembered this, or whatever. I'll give you guys a link to this article. But if you want to go to Investors Business Daily, investors.com, and right here, number one ranked 5G AI stock launches run with breakaway gap. You can click it there right now. Here's something interesting. I think I've heard it before, but I don't, there's so many rules, I don't think about them all. Keep in mind that nearly 50% of a stock's move is tied to its industry group. 37% for the sector. So that's pretty cool. So Xilinx was in good shape on both of these accounts as it built a new base and continues to benefit from increasing demand for its AI and 5G tech. But that's cool. That's why you got to be with good industry groups. That's why I always mention the count of the industry group when I go through the stock checkup when we look at stuff. Buying into a breakaway gap. So you have to talk about the gap rules. So they talk about not buying a stock before earnings, better off to wait for the stock to report, see how the market reacts. Buying into a heavy volume breakaway gap from a proper base can be profitable. The third lesson is you can minimize your risk by getting into the stock gradually. We started taking a half position. If stock continues to move higher, you can add more shares. Yeah, here's something we don't talk about often. I actually don't remember the rules to this. I think rising 20% in more than 2 or 3 weeks. After stock makes a gain of 20% in 2 or 3 weeks, it's not unusual for them to flash a sharp but hopefully temporary pullback. The 8-week hold rule can help you sit tight through this move for longer gain. So there's something called 8-week hold rule. I don't think we've ever discussed this, but an 8-week hold rule is where a stock runs up 20% in 2 to 3 weeks. There's a rule to hold it for at least 8 weeks after that, unless it hits your stop loss point. So the reason being is because most stocks have a sharp pullback, which is what they're referring to here. Here's your breakaway, here's your gap, 20% gain in 3 weeks. It pulls back. A lot of these have pretty deep pullbacks, and then they continue with a larger run, such as this one Trinity did. So Monster Beverages has a 3-week hold or 8-week hold rule. So anyway, you can I'll post this up for you guys. If you want to look more into the 8-week hold rule. Our Match.com 2%. Looks like it's coming back a little bit. Fortinet 1% and came back a little bit. NASDAQ going back towards highs, it looks like, of the day. There we go. All right, I'm going to grab my water real quick. I'll be right back. All right. EDU taking our top spot now. EDU's been doing pretty good lately. Had this little pop here, and looks like it's not stopping yet. It's still looking good. And oh yeah, this is earnings coming up today, right? Oh, not today, 23rd. Okay. I hate before market earnings, mainly because I'm in Arizona, and it's like butt crack of dawn my time. But 23rd, so 1 week away for EDU. 1 week away. One stock that we were looking at, I think it was Alibaba in a lower consolidation. How did that work out? It looks like it never broke out, and we sold off a little bit. Okay, not too bad. Let's go look at our daily. Let's look at some daily movers. Looks like a recent IPO. Whatever our quail is. McDermott Industries looks like a gap all the way down to the bottom of a multi-year range. It's down, still down here at about $10, and maybe trying to break out of that. That could be interesting. At least a gap up here to 12 for MDR. Eli, I think StockShed's broken again. Page loads, but I get my spinny wheel at the top for forever. We talked about mitigating that somehow. I forget how. CGC's up 5%. Oh, look at that move this morning. Lots of volume. What's going on there? Breaking our trend line. May have to bring this one back into the fold. Canopy to generate 1 billion Canadian dollars in April. Invest in beauty brand. The hell? They got all kinds of stuff they're talking about. Very interesting here. Expands European footprint, acquires Spanish licensed cannabis producer Cafina. Oh, they're doing good stuff. The market's responding. I mean, up 5% is pretty good today. That would lead our board. Breaking this immediate trend line in this morning. And look how heavy volume is already 12 minutes into the trading, or 17 minutes into the trading session. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Progressive Insurance busting out of a cup and handle pattern? Is that what we're doing here? Wow. I don't know what, we haven't been talking about Progressive, but their volume's kind of progressive. But that's a definite cup and handle. It is V-shaped. That's not the ideal cup and handle shape, but that kind of tracks the market, as a matter of fact. So I guess I can't be too mad at that. Yeah, interesting chart. Progressive Insurance. There you go. PGR. BRFS trying to come out of lows. Not sure what that other one's doing. IBN. Some decent volume recently on the daily chart. Lots of pocket pivots on its way up there. Cron, another one getting some support here at $15 after coming down from 25. TIGR. No IPO base even as of yet on this one. This one, I guess you can consider that not really. The weekly chart is just straight up from 8, so it's doubled. And Cron again, UY up, and then WDC up, which means a lot of our list has dropped down. Match down 1.87%, coming back down, testing again the opening area for net 0.63%, giving some of it up. Later, Rob. Alibaba coming under scrutiny with the Chinese government for trying to force overtime. Isn't that called working in China? That's good, though, if they're doing that. Maybe, yeah, get their working standards up a little bit over there. Take-Two Interactive falling off of a cliff. And AEYE also failing at that trend line. Illumina. So far holding up after that little mini gap up. Earnings coming up. How's CRISPR doing? 9%. Looks like it moved up a little bit more. CRISPR 200-day moving average right there. We'll see if it's able to breach it. Already breached the 50-day up there. But look at that. Gap up above the 50 and then went nowhere since February 25th. So 2 months. Basically flat. Up 1%. 2%, excuse me. Looks like it's trying to get up more than 2% right now, though. So if you want some CRISPR, maybe leaving the launch pad. Look at the volume. It's already pretty high right here. Already pretty high. So this is probably going to be a pocket pivot day for sure. All right. Have a good day, man. Yeah, stock shed's broken. Darn it. I hate when that happens. Yeah, CRISPR. I mean, yeah, not bad here at all, as a matter of fact. To pull up my old handy dandy option spreadsheet. Already eclipsed yesterday's volume. So we got CRISPR 4062. Let's see where this thing could go. Man, that's a pullback all the way back down to that breakout point. So I would assume we're looking at CRISPR. There we go. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. Yeah, CRISPR not looking bad at all. Uh, 19%. It's a little deep for a flat base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So technically it could be a cup with a handle pattern. Well, there's no handle. It's just a cup, but it doesn't qualify as a flat base. Let's check out the IBD Research composite ranking of 11, which is not good. EPS change negative 9,300. That's the largest number I've ever seen. Yeah. Sales change negative 100% last quarter. What? 3-year sales growth rate 271%. Annual pre-tax margin negative 5,200%. The hell's going on here? Relative strength of 21. CRISPR. There's some news articles. CRISPR Biotech inks deal to use stem cells in gene editing machine. Yeah, so very, very experimental technology and apparently a very experimental stock. May not work out very well. Amarin today getting a little bit leading our list here today. No major volume, however. BioShock Boys Russ? I'm not sure what you're referring to there. With CRISPR. Illumina Fortinet 0.7. Still working fine out of its breakout. Not mad at this whatsoever. It's up 7% from the breakout, and then 14.24% from where I bought it down here out of a shakeout day. Look at that. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, Match having a good day. MJ having a mixed day. We have seen a couple of MJ stocks do a couple of things. Looks like we're turning here a little bit after yesterday's pretty aggressive sell-off. Look at the volume on that. That's an aggressive sell-off. You generally don't enjoy seeing that. BioShock is a game with gene therapy upgrades your character. Interesting. Gotcha. Well, I kind of wish... Oh, I had an alert on CRISPR, too, 14 minutes ago. I didn't realize that. Yeah, definitely not a gaming company. Definitely a real-life biotech company. I know you're not saying that, by the way. But it probably would be better if it was a game. It had have a better performing chart if it was a gaming company. Fox F, 0.67%. Trying to get into those new highs again. And they're letting it get up there. So no reason to be too worried up here. Curled back nicely yesterday. Little gap up today. I don't mind the little gaps. Those aren't too bad. They do tend to come back and get filled. But, just realize that and get on with your business. I got a big chunk of cash I need to deploy. I don't see a super clear position for that. I mean, I wish I was heavier into Fortinet, but obviously, you always wish you were heavier in your current winners. Newer with a big cup and handle there. Las Vegas Sands Cyber working pretty good. Non-stop here. Pretty much nowhere to enter that. There was a pullback, looks like a week and a half ago. That was about it. iRobot, maybe. Looks like, I think we've talked about this one forming a base up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Definitely should be a flat base. Yep. Qualifies for a flat base, so iRobot could be, well, it may not qualify as a flat base due to the fact that this could be a double bottom pattern, in which case it hasn't risen 20%. Oh, I guess it has risen 20%. So yeah, this could be a base, could be a second stage base. %. Yeah, this could be a second stage base. This would be a washout essentially. And so this would be this would kind of be your first stage base. Here is a big double bottom. And then iRobot, let's see if making robots is profitable. Well, at least vacuum cleaners. 98 composite rating. Group ranking 29 out of 197, which is very good. A group relative strength rating. It's number 1 in that industry group too. Designs and builds robots that perform domestic chores both inside and outside of the home. What do they do this outside of the home? That's cool. 56% EPS change last quarter, 117% average 3/4 EPS growth rate. Good stuff. Earnings coming up. 423, 1 week. Last quarter earnings surprised 68%. Sparked that rally. Sales only 18%, which is a red dot. 3-year sales growth rate 23%. Pre-tax margin only 9.9%. Not very good. Relative strength rating is 98. 3.5 billion market cap. B- accumulation distribution, which is really good. 2.7 up down volume, which is exceptional, but 0% change in funds owning stock, kind of indicating lack of accumulation by institutions at this point. iRobot near buy zone with EPS due. This was printed about a week ago. Let's take a look at this. Second stage flat base. I mentioned that, so it looks like I'm on top of that game. That's good. Keep in mind that buying a stock just before it moves earnings is risky, and EPS sales or miss can send it sharply lower. Reported 56% earnings growth in its most recent report. Looking for earnings growth of -9% for the quarter and 4% growth for the full year. Estimate for the full year were revised upwards. It does have some other stock in its industry group. Let's take a peek at those. MIDD, VOIT. As the NASDAQ makes a new daily high, they're up almost 0.5% now. VIOT. Oh, that looks promising. Recent IPO. Looks like there's your IPO base. There's your breakout point. You get another second stage base here at about $12. That one's not bad. Very low float coin, 92,000 shares, average daily volume. So that's going to be a very volatile name. You can just see it here. Just big whipsaws. That's not normal. Yeah, so I'm not sure what they do. But iRobot not looking bad. That's all they have to say about that one. I don't have a lot of information. Let's look at this Voight one. $88 composite rating. 10% EPS change, 130% sales change, 204% 3-year sales growth rate, which is good, really good. Margin 3.5% and 8% change in funds owning stock, which is better than nothing. Chinese smart home stock rockets on strong Q4 reports. This was a month ago. So let's see if they know more about this one. Hold on a second. All right, Viomi sales jumped 143% year over year. They'll pay for that kind of growth. In the quarter, we continued to experience robust market demand across our product portfolio, successfully strengthened our channel presence both on and offline, and further expanded our household user base. Launched 5G-enabled smart refrigerator premium range hood, a series of instant heating water heaters. Company expects sales to increase about 105% year over year in the first quarter. 14% of customers had at least 2 Viomi connected products in the fourth quarter, suggesting more bundled sales. Okay, so VIOT with a symmetrical triangle here and starting to edge its way out higher. Not too bad though. Fortinet, Twilio, and Match. Match has given up a little bit. Ameren leading us today. NVIDIA trying to make a comeback. Good stuff today, man. You gotta love days like this. Today's a good day. But yeah, so Void here looks like above this $12 level has been resistance, so it's sitting at a resistance point for this Void one. No options for Void, which is strange. It's been trading for a while. Just too low dollar, I guess. But iRobot definitely sitting near the cusp of a breakout. 132.98 would be your technical breakout level here for iRobot. Yeah, I'm not really mad at this one though. All right, CRISPR. Pulling back a little bit. Let's add them to my actionable list since they're trying to break out of a lower base here. And I do keep thinking about them, so might as well watch them. INSG giving up 0.43%. Oh, not really bouncing off of those lows at all. Kind of going against the market. I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that at all. So the more, again, we talk about the more times it tests a trend line, the more likely it is to break it. Well, there's a trend line above this one. I don't have it drawn out, but it's basically these three peaks down here. And more recently, there appears to be kind of an area down here. Not a line, but kind of an area. And it keeps coming back down to it. So we'll see how that occurs. So we had some resistance here the other day at 497, right at $5. So I think a break over 5 is really your clear. You're clear, more clear. I won't say clear. You're more clear for upside potential, getting over that $5 level. But we've been, now I will say one thing about this is that it looks like the volume was good down here from that 470 level. We're not too far from there at 468. So I don't think we're dead yet. But I think getting down towards, doesn't look like a long ways away, but 466 could put us into more danger. Which is that low. We've already spiked down there a couple of times, but we keep coming back. 463, okay, that's where we want to look. Let's see how we react at 463. So let's put an alert at 464 is below. So we'll see how that happens. If that never gets hit, then maybe we'll be okay. Match.com giving it all up. Coming back after such a good day yesterday. No follow through today. Actually looks like increased selling pressure. Thinking of selling this one. Got a really nice gain in it. It expires in 2 days, so I think I'll just close it. That's fine. All right, Match.com trade is closed. I got Fortinet till next year, so I can run that one for a while if I want to. Twilio trade, looking good. Actually, I'm already up quite a bit from where I bought it. And I bought it 409, so it was right there. I bought it right there. And that's May 3rd, so I got a little while longer on that. I'm going to hold that one. We'll see what earnings, May 3rd. I'm going to have to ditch it right there before earnings, which is fine. It gives us the 30th, which is 2 weeks, so plenty of time for that trade. Yeah, CRISPR pulling back a little bit more here. AMRN pulling in ever so slightly. EDU. NVIDIA, what are you doing? So you kind of were running down for a couple days. You mentioned this could be a good place to buy NVIDIA yesterday, and it went down a little bit lower. And now we're back to where yesterday we said it was probably a good idea to buy NVIDIA. Undercut the 10-day moving average right there. Still above the 50. And it could just be a pullback. So tested that 200 looks imminent. 7% away. Turn on my humidifier, guys. If it's too loud, let me know. And I'll turn it down a notch, but dry air. Oh, there we go. What? All right. Alumina 1.25% coming back. My approach on all-time highs here, I see nothing wrong with it. Russ, you can go back. Oh, you weren't in my crypto power. We talked about this yesterday in the crypto power hour. Regarding kind of where we are in the market cycle, I guess would be a good way to put it. Overall, in terms of the market cycle. So, yeah, my thought is that I think it's sustainable. In a nutshell, yeah. Yeah, I see no reason why it shouldn't be. All right, I need a position. Still need a position. CRISPR not really doing it. AMRN, I'm very tempted by AMRN. The problem with AMRN, number one, it's not running, and number two, where's all my clear drawing set? I mean, I love the breakaway gap right there. Nice base here, but it needs to get above. Now you have a different trend line. Needs to get above that. Look at that. Pulled up pretty hard there. And so far drifting away in lower volume. They're trying to get it again. If I remember right, the IBD AMRN stuff wasn't great. I could be wrong. Let's double check. 66 composite rating, which is not great. Ranked 54 in his industry group. Irish developer of novel drugs for the treatment of cardiovascular disease with the field of lipid science. Whatever the hell that means. Negative 29 EPS. So, I mean, yeah, this is another thing that some of the things aren't very good on it. 44% sales change last quarter. So it's not like a traditional. It's trading a biotech is what it is, which always sucks. Shorts creep back into Amarin as deal speculation quiets down. Let's go read that article on IBD. Investors slowly raised bets against small drug maker Amarin as speculation around a possible deal has calmed in recent weeks. Shares have maintained their gains after the company submitted a filing to regulators at the end of March to broaden the indication for its heart capsules. There are more than 21.7 million shares of the Dublin-based company sold short, up from 12 million shares sold short in mid-September. Wow. The stock surged later that month when its fish oil-based medication showed promise in a long-term study. Short selling increased over the last 3 weeks as speculation of multi-billion-dollar deal quieted and investors shifted their focus to first quarter prescription numbers. Okay. There's quite a bit of information here about Amarin. Roughly 6.6% of Amarin shares available for trading are sold short, the highest in more than a year, with 2.1 days to cover. Maybe we just saw those 2.1 days to cover over here. Possibly. The company's American repository remains more than 500% higher since the initial Reduce It trial announcement on September 24th, brings its market valuation to $6.3 billion. One thing is clear, Amarin options appear to be maintaining the overall bullish theme of the total open call interest exceeding put open interest by more than 3 to 1. Over 33% of those calls are set to expire on April 18th. And the at-the-money straddle is expecting 5% move in shares between Wednesday and expiration, which is in 2 days. These option bets could be used by investors to hedge against shorts. A key catalyst for the drug maker will come in the few weeks when management reports first quarter results. Amarin expects revenue increase of more than 50%, driven by sales of Vascepa, or Vascepa, I guess. So anyway, yeah, it looks like there's some drama in the stock there between short sellers and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know if I want to put a tremendous amount of my capital in that, but high short float is good. Trade desk looks like it's breaking up out of this diamond formation thing here to the upside. Scared up, scared down, now up again. And that one could be interesting. Stock shed still not working. All right, TTD on the weekly. What do we have here? Let's just clear all those out of there. And we are left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 week. So a flat base up here for trade desk, which is cool. Down 16.78%. I guess you could give that, you could call that a flat base if you wanted to. Up 42%, so definitely meets base criteria. Earnings coming up here in a little bit. Okay. NASDAQ, 0.56%, getting on with highs. I'm going to have to put this money in my TQQQ stash if this keeps up. Up nearly 50%. Actually, pretty much at 50% from our TQQQ trade here, if you guys have been following for a while. Buying it out of lows here for the NASDAQ. Where else do you get a 50% gain on huge amounts of your portfolio? Safely. That's great. Love it. Fortinet match. INSG, take two. All right, what's working up here? Noah taking top spot. Rocking this morning. Look at my lower right chart. Noah just killing it. Out of lows there. CRISPR pulling back a little more. CASA. CGC, OGRMF, Roku. Roku. Know you're getting old when you hear yourself coughing. ACB. Another MJ play trying to bounce off of a trend line or a moving average. 50-day moving average right there. Tilray, are you still printing lows here, Tilray? Man. Wow. Imagine shorting that thing from like 250. And you're down here. That's crazy. Netflix trying to bounce back. Okay, let's reset this. Really? Is that what I have for this? 183 days. Really? You're telling me I put 183 days on there? Okay. Netflix Goose. Quieting down a little bit. All the way down there. MNFF, EDU, VFF. Ouya, Amba, Micron. Micron not looking too bad. Kind of coming to a point, if you will. PCTY, what are you? Paylocity? PCTY. 99 composite rating. Wow, 96 relative strength. And its RS line is almost in new highs before it breaks out. 91 looks like it's building that base to break through the $100 level potentially. Cloud-based provider of payroll and human capital management software solutions for medium-sized companies. 4 in that sector, which is ranked number 1. Along with Paycom, ServiceNow, Five9, and Twilio. 44% EPS change. Good stuff, good stuff. Pre-tax margins 12.2%, which is red. Average volume is a little bit low. 4.8 billion market cap. B- accumulation. 1.8 up down volume, 2% change in funds owning stock, 1/4 of increased fund ownership. I'm excited. You can hear it bouncing off the 50-day right here as well. And yeah, it looks like it's trying to do something. I don't remember seeing this in the IBD 50. Let me search the paper for it. This one could be nice. Time saver table, stocks on the move. And that's it. This one could be maybe flying a little bit under the radar, but it didn't hit the IBD 50, which I'm a little intrigued by. Probably because this margin sucks. 3 years EPS growth rate 68%. EPS change last quarter 44%. 3 quarters average EPS growth 33%. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, plenty of space here for a potential flat base. Yeah, it definitely meets flat base criteria, but you know, either could be considered a false breakout and maybe a cup with handle, or base on base. Could be a base on base because it just barely broke out of the cup here. That's possible. Support of the 50-day is very good. Don't really have any pocket pivots. We have a couple of that day kind of killed a few pocket pivots. It is saddled with a little bit of distribution up here as it tries to get higher. Gets hit down. Or it just seems to be slapped down every once in a while from about these levels, so it needs to break out or not. So far it doesn't have the volume to break out, but I'm going to put this on my actionable list. I think this is definitely actionable. So we're talking 20% up from 92.5. It's about 111. I gotta do it manually today. I was going to get going, then I found this lovely, lovely little stock. What's the market cap of this thing? It wasn't like 8 billion or something. 4.8 billion. Cool. It's not even big. Plenty of room to go. PCTY. What was our target? 111? Lots of ones. Let's see what August brings. Not bad. Not great. But this is looking really good. I mean, it needs volume to get going, though. It doesn't have any. And that's always difficult to buy a stock that doesn't have any volume in it. And CRISPR coming back down. Fortinet holding just fine so far. Not doing too bad right there. See, that's what you want it to do. You want that volume to be nice and filled. And we noted early on this was a breakout day. If you guys remember, we went through the average daily volume calculation and figured out the average daily volume on the pace it was in the first, 30, 40 minutes, was going to, could be 8 million, which is obviously unsustainable. But we were looking at 2.4 million and we got 2.7 million, which was fine. So we're good to go there. Fortinet just doing good stuff here. Well, let's go take a look at that number one industry group and see if there's anything else worth doing. FIVN is one we've seen for a while. And it's just kind of slowly going higher. They're in a big kind of wide, broad curve. ServiceNow looks like it is consolidating a little bit. Let's see if we can get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it looks like it may have formed a flat base. Up 21%, kind of qualifies. 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be the 5th week for ServiceNow. 424, that's coming up pretty quick. And volume's really drifting off here. Look at the gap between the average volume and the volume bars. Pretty nice big gap right there. But no one's selling this thing, that's for damn sure. Paycom. Just kind of moving. You can see our line right there. And it's almost right up there. And Twilio. I'm in Twilio, so that's fine. That's good. Twilio also trying to march on up, being supported at the 50-day. So that's pretty good. SMR accumulating distribution rating. You have SVMK, MODN, Carbonite. Whoa, they got destroyed. And that's about it. All right, guys, I think I'm going to get out of here. So market's doing fine. We got Nasdaq up almost 0.5% again. Things are doing pretty good. CGC could be interesting, up about 5% here. So Netflix trying to get back on with it too. And looks like it's kind of rounding over ever so slightly, but earnings are coming up 416 today after market. If you have Netflix positions, consider selling some, unless you have massive profits in it. Other than that, guys, yeah, I'm going to bounce. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.